No.
Hi. And it is Tuesday again. It comes home so blinking fast. I don't know what it is, but in this light, that eyebrow looks ridiculously darker and so different. That is going to drive me mad. You're going to have to let me blend it while I'm on. So, I am having one of them manic days. I'm rushing to get ready. That'll do.
Yes, I do.
Normally I can have someone to watch this one or I get entertained downstairs. But that didn't happen today, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, on today's Top Tip Tuesday, I want to talk about a mistake that we all make. I made it for absolutely years, and it really, really impacts your mental health. And it can be one of them where you think, can't really impact it that much until you do it and until you make that change, and then you realise the difference. Like I always try and connect it to food. Like if you'd ever cut out a certain food group for a certain time and realise, oh, hang on, like if you're eating a load of junk food and then you start eating healthy again, then you go to have some junk food after a couple of weeks and you think, oh, it's making me feel awful. And then you suddenly realise how bad it was making you feel, but when you was doing it in the moment in time, you couldn't really feel the impacts of it. Right, coming on. I'm sitting at my dressing table, so she's just playing with all sorts and staring at herself in the mirror. So these faces, because there's a mirror right in front of her. So what is the mistake? The mistake is surrounding yourself with negativity, and I'm not necessarily the one who's big on, oh, like, cut out the negativity, only think positive, because it's kind of hard to do that. But then in certain situations, we're constantly soaking up that negativity and we don't really realise it, and we don't realise how much it's impacting us. And often it is, I don't want to say pointless, but then I do want to say pointless. It's pointless negativity. It's negativity that you don't need. And it's basically on your social media. And one of my biggest tips is to stop making the mistake of just letting your social media run wild and letting your news feed run wild. Right, stop it now. And not having any sort of control over it whatsoever. And having like news apps on your phone that are alerting you. Like, you don't, why do you need that? If you think about it logically, why do you need apps that are notifying you of the news constantly? What is it that you need to know? Like, I'm going to sound really harsh, but even now, unless you've got relatives over there, unless you have, you know, work connections over there or problems that are going to be affected with distribution, you don't really need to know about the war in Ukraine. All it is going to do is upset you, make you, rightly so, feel bad for them people. And that is going to affect you. It's going to make you feel down constantly. Seeing that is going to impact anybody because you're only human. Yeah, we'll go to the doctor soon. Mummy's just working, okay? So I don't really, I'm aware there's a war going on. Soon, darling. I'm aware there's a war going on. That's about it. I don't really hear too much about it. And also, we've all got them people on our social media. Okay, soon, Mummy do this work. We've all got them people on our social media who are just a negative Nancy. Like today, I've had a bit of a whinge on mine about it being summer and the wasp being out, and I'm like, I don't like it. But we have people who are just constantly like, oh, this is going on, that's going on, all this, all that, all this, all that, all that, and oh, is this happening in my area? And oh, there's that's happening. Or they're constantly posting about the war, or they're constantly posting about COVID. Can't say the word because it gets flagged up. Or they're constantly posting about, you know, just not good things, and you think, I don't need to see it. Like people who share cats and animals being hurt, or people, and you think, and it's not nice to see. So for me, I really make an effort to be in control of my social media. There's nothing on my social media that I don't want to see. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people doing, is one, having news apps on the phones and alerting them to, oh, this celebrity couple's just broke up, or oh, there's been a murder in London. You're like, you don't really need to know that, and it does drag you down. And not having control over your social media and over your news feed does really impact you. Like you're just going into a mad world and you're just letting anything and anybody come at you, and you wouldn't do that in the street. You wouldn't just let anybody and anybody come at you and start sharing information with you. You'd be like, oh, hang on, don't really want to know about that, or, you know, that doesn't make me feel nice. So one of my biggest tips is, if there's something on your social media that someone's sharing and you think, I don't like seeing that, I don't need to see that, it doesn't make me feel good seeing that, then you don't have to unfollow them. You don't have to unfriend them. You can literally, I'm talking just Facebook here for this bit, but you can literally, there's normally 3 dots at the top right hand corner. I'm dyslexic, is that right? That corner, I don't know which way it'll be for you guys, even the memory image, but I'm sure it's the top right. I think it's top right. And there's 3 dots, and if you click them, and there's a list that comes up. Obviously you don't want to report them, because what they might be sharing isn't necessarily wrong or offensive to an extent, but it might just not make you feel great. So there's an option that says stop showing me posts like this. So that doesn't mean it stops showing you posts from that person. It just picks up on you didn't like the topic of, I don't know, euthanasia or the war or COVID or school. You know, you might have someone who whinges about the kids at school all the time, and you think, I'm sick of hearing about school life because I homeschool and I homeschooled in order to remove myself from the school situation. I don't want to keep hearing about it. So then you can just say, stop showing me posts like this. And the more often you do that on a variety of different topics, that is when, after I'd say a month at least, your newsfeed will be dramatically different. You will still be seeing stuff from your friends and your family. It's not going to stop you seeing stuff, but you won't necessarily see them sharing things that are just not great for you. They just don't, they just don't make you feel positive. And I'm not saying you need every single post on your social media to make you feel happy and positive and woo, but equally you don't need to be seeing stuff that doesn't make you feel nice and does drag you down. For example, if you're in a really depressive state and you're feeling very unmotivated, and you might be following someone who is going through similar, it's not them 2 situations are not helpful to then just be seeing, this is, you know, being in victim mode or just staying in that mentality. So you might want to stop seeing the things that they're sharing like that, because you might be trying to focus on trying to get better, trying to get out of that funk, as I call it. You can do this on Instagram as well and other social media platforms, but I mainly focus on Facebook. This is where I'm doing the live now, so if you're watching the replay on YouTube, this is filmed live in my Facebook group, and I don't really tend to scroll Instagram newsfeed, so I'm not very up on how to do it as much on Instagram. I tend to just focus on stories, because then you can be quite particular, and I tend to just follow influential people and celebrities and things like that, like Mrs. Hinch and Stacey Solomon, so there's never really much bad on there. So obviously it will work different for the different social media platforms, but that's my tip on Facebook, and equally on having other apps like news apps and things like that. This has been a manic live. It is not gone as smooth as my other ones, and it's probably dragged on because I've got all sorts of off topics with the distractions, but this is mum life, and this is me showing up no matter what. So let me know if you've done this already, because I have shared this before over the years in my group. So let me know if you've already done what I call a social media detox, and you've really gone through everything and cleaned up your social media, and let me know, did it make a difference for you? Have you noticed? That's just saying thank you, because she's just stolen, but she's not stolen, but yeah. So did it make a difference? Or equally, let me know in the comments if you're thinking, do you know what, I'm going to start doing that. My newsfeed is a bit full of things that I don't necessarily like seeing, and I have to try and scroll past, or I read it and I think, I'll come off my phone and I'm feeling, you know, my mood's affected about what I've just seen, and that this is something you're going to go do, then again, let me know in the comments. But I hope you all have an amazing Tuesday. This one's off to the doctors now, and she's desperate to get there, but we both know she's going to get there, and we're like, I'm not talking, you're not looking at me, get away from me. Great. So I hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday, whatever it is you're doing. She's currently caking herself in makeup that she can find. Let's go clean. Right, so bye to everyone now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Angel. Bye.
No, not Angel. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Angel.
No, it's not Angels at school. Bye.